My guest is the Director of Communications for UNRWA, which is the United Nations Relief and Work Agency. Juliette Touma is joining me live this morning. Ms. Touma, welcome back to our network. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Good morning, Heather. Thanks for having me.
That breaking news I was just mentioning, that the War Cabinet in Israel is allowing in these 2 fuel trucks a day exclusively for UN use. Can you tell me more about that, the reaction to it and the impact it will have?
Look, we've seen these reports, but we are unable to confirm any receipt of any fuel today for a very simple reason, is there is a total communications blackout across the Gaza Strip, and we're not able to resume the humanitarian operation as of this morning.
So I'm going to come back to the fuel and aid and relief in a moment, but I did want to ask you about this. Another communications blackout. We have reported on these in recent times, phone and internet all down. When that happens, what is the impact on your team?
This is the 4th time that this happens since the war began. And when this happens, what it means is that we immediately lose contact with the vast majority of our teams on the ground. And people in Gaza lose contact with each other, because imagine in the 21st century, you do not have internet, you do not have connectivity, you do not have a mobile phone, and you're living in a war zone. It's absolutely terrifying. And people in Gaza feel extremely, extremely frustrated whenever this happens, on top of everything that they're living through, because they feel extremely isolated and disconnected from each other, but also from the rest of the world.
We will follow today to see whether the communications, in fact, are restored. In those 3 previous examples, they have come back online gradually. But based on what you're telling us now, at this moment, it is a complete blackout. But we do know that the fuel issue is one that has been extremely problematic. We're just hearing from the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights, talking about, Juliette, how 70% of people in Gaza are now drinking salinized, so salted, or not desalinated anyway, so contaminated water, and contaminated as well as a result of raw sewage. Can you just talk about the situation for people in Gaza not having access to the clean water and the impact that is having?
Look, fuel has been used as a weapon of war over the past six weeks. Not having shipments of fuel coming into the Gaza Strip has caused serious dangers to the communities, including, like you said, drinking water, but also our ability as UNRWA to deliver assistance and reach people in need. As a result of no fuel, we were not able to do what we need to do, whether it's to pick up trucks of aid, whether it's to distribute that aid to people in need. We are hosting 800,000 people, whether the impact on sewage treatment, on medical facilities who that are running out of fuel. I mean, fuel has been used as a weapon of war, and it is absolutely unacceptable that an organization like UNRWA is forced to beg for fuel. Unacceptable.
The reporting has been that it was Washington, the United States, that requested that Israel allow these 2 tanker trucks in per day for that fuel to provide that water, at least minimal support. And the concern was to allow for water desalination, sanitary systems to prevent pandemics and outbreaks. I'm wondering what you're seeing as far as disease, as far as outbreaks related to this lack of clean water. What are you seeing so far?
Horrible conditions, Heather, horrible conditions in our own shelters. The sanitation conditions are really, really bad. I mean, you have hundreds of people sharing one toilet or one shower unit. We ran out very early on of hygiene supplies because there was no replenishment of these supplies, and the numbers of people who came to seek refuge and shelter in our facilities is just huge. We are also overwhelmed, and this is why the trucks of aid that have been coming in are very welcome, of course, but we need much, much more. and we need fuel, and we need a resumption of the telecommunications network. And for that to happen on the communications network, it needs fuel.
I'd like to ask as well what we're hearing in and around Khan Yunis, that there have been email alerts and the Israeli Air Force has dropped leaflets overnight telling people to evacuate to shelters for their own safety. So that would suggest that some form of military operation is likely. And this is in the south already. What are you hearing further on that? And what are people doing?
No place is safe in the Gaza Strip. Nowhere. Not the north, not the middle areas, and not the south. Of our colleagues who were killed, 103 UNRWA colleagues, 1/3 of them were killed not in the north. They were killed in the middle areas, and they were killed in the southern areas. Of the UNRWA facilities that have been impacted during the war, that have been hit during the war, 70% were in the middle areas and in the south. There's nowhere that is safe in the Gaza Strip. And unlike in other conflicts that we've seen in recent history, people are trapped. They cannot leave the Gaza Strip. They have nowhere to go.
I was struck yesterday by some of the comments from your Commissioner General when he held a briefing. And one of the things he said was the scale of destruction and loss is just staggering, and this is taking place under our watch. I'm wondering if you could just speak further to his description. We're ending another week of this war. Where are we now, and what happens next?
6 weeks of colossal destruction, and our commissioner has been to Gaza himself, and he's witnessed it firsthand, and he's very familiar with Gaza. And I think we are all shocked, those of us who go in and out, or used to at least go in and out of Gaza. We're shocked at the velocity. We're shocked at the speed of this destruction. When we look at footage from places like outside our own offices, where we have been operating for more than 70 years now, the place looks like it's been hit by an earthquake, except it's man-made, and it could have totally been avoided.
Juliette, Touma, thank you for your time today. And again, your perspective as your agency deals with the Palestinians, the largest agency responsible for that. And I appreciate hearing about you on these, our headlines today. Thank you, Juliette Touma from Amman, Jordan, this hour.